When we look at Jesus speaking to the Pharisees, we get a very clear understanding of what the gospel message is. The Pharisees were tithing their mint and their cumin, that means their herbs, and they felt that this extreme interpretation of the Old Testament law would further increase their self-righteousness. And they thought that God's purpose for them was to withdraw from the suffering of others in the world and to seek their personal righteousness with God. But Jesus' statement to them is remarkable to us, and it really shows God's mission for the church in the world today. He quoted the Old Testament prophets who said that God does not seek sacrifice, this type of personal sacrifice for our individual righteousness, but rather God seeks mercy and righteousness. This righteousness means justice for others. God has called us to go into the world and to seek to heal, to seek to have compassion, to be merciful, and to seek justice for those that are trodden down in the world. And this is God's wonderful purpose for his community, his people, his church among the nations. And so when Jesus was healing on the Sabbath day, the Pharisees were offended at that they felt that was breaking the law. But Jesus said it's lawful to do good to others, to have compassion on people. And the people we are to have compassion on are people in our nation that need help, or people in other nations of different races, of different faiths that need help. We're to love these people. That's God's purpose for us. And so when Jesus was speaking about the Good Samaritan, the Pharisees walked by on the other side of the road when they saw the man who had been beaten and left for dead. They felt that helping this man might somehow make them unclean and take away their personal righteousness. But rather, helping this man is the mission that God has had for them and has for us today as his church. This is God's call for us. And so Jesus said to the Pharisees that the tithing they should not have left undone, but the more important issues of mercy and of compassion, these are what they should really be going after in their worship of God. And so for us, what does this mean? We're not in the Old Covenant where we seek to tithe in the way that they did. But the first principles of the law that we're not to leave undone concerning our holiness and our sanctification, that's important, that we walk in a holy life. But that's just the first principles. Beyond that, we need to look out to the world and see what God has called us for, and to be healing to the nations, to show the compassion of God to the world. That is really the call of the church as we follow Jesus.